Hello. Good
Hello.
afternoon.
No!
Good morning.
Ah,
Good.
Do you need more cookies?
I'm in a cookie coma.
Oh.
I can get you more cookies.
I have what's left
Oh, you
of
do?
some of my cookies. So I
We
have
some delicious cookies.
I have what's left of a s'more cookie, but I left the parts I don't like
Oh, I'll take
because I
that.
don't like
take
marshmallow and graham cracker.
I'll take that. Pass that
So
my
those
way.
are for Jen.
Yep, those are for me.
And then I have nearly my whole strawberry shortcake
You
cookie,
gotta savor that one.
which I'm gonna share
Little
with
bites.
you guys.
It's so good.
This is the most amazing cookie in the history of cookies right here. It is
So-
strawberry shortcake cookie.
So if you follow us on social media, a couple months ago, you saw a post about Tim on our crew, our monument crew.
Oh my god, it's so good!
Yeah. Tim's sister. Tim has a twin sister, and she bakes treats and just brings them to us.
Yeah.
It's so wonderful. He came in today. He's like, "Is it okay if my sister brings cookies today?" I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then she got here right as I was about to go pick up lunch for me and Jason, and I was like, "Ooh, turn around."
Wait, you turned around?
Cookies.
No, I mean I was still in the building.
Oh,
I was
okay.
about to walk out the door. I had my purse, and I see them, the three of them come walking toward the thing. I'm like, nope, turn around. I turned around, put my bag down, went and grabbed a plate, got some cookies, put them on my desk because I miss them every time.
Jen, you are generally always the last person. a lot
I've
of the
missed
time.
the last few times that we've had treats from Tim's sister, and I was
Yeah,
not
yeah,
missing
yeah.
them out,
You can.
missing them today. And when I tell you, she opened the container, and I was like, that looks like a crumble cookie.
Yep.
The strawberry one. It looks like something you would get at Crumble. So, and they're homemade.
It's so good.
It was a good day
You're
today.
too good!
Jason.
And now I have marshmallow.
I'm very sad because even though I have over half of the strawberry shortcake cookie left, I know that at one point it will be gone.
Uh-huh.
And it's very sad to me.
You want to hear something that's even more
Because it's
sad?
too good!
You want to hear something that's even more sad?
You didn't get one.
I didn't get one.
I'm not even giving you a bite either.
That's okay. You can enjoy it.
I was like, Jen was like, you need to get in there or you'll miss out.
I did. I was in my car
Yeah.
sending him a message. I'm like, you better go get those cookies if you want them.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're interested, go now.
There were 3 left when I got there.
Yeah,
I went
take
to
one.
I went to go grab plates.
The plates were right there.
No. Everybody had already grabbed the 2 plates that were left. You grabbed one, and then Cody
You
grabbed the
literally
other
could
one.
just grab one with your hands. It would be fine. Grab a cookie in your hands.
I didn't think that they'd be gone by the time. I thought people were gonna cut them.
Hello, everyone. By
Hi.
the way. I have a lot of cookie chatter over here.
Cookie grumbles.
Big Bobzilla said, "What about Cora?
What
Did
about
you get
Cora?
pup cookies for her? No one has to worry about Cora.
She's doing just.
She
fine.
is just fine. She will get her Saturday morning trip to Starbucks for her pup cup.
Yes,
and
she will.
She will be just fine.
What's up, D-Fresh?
We can always ask for more. Yes, they were made by Tim, who works here, by his sister. You could probably also ask for the recipe, Jordan.
I
Make
could.
some for yourself.
I could. That is true. That is
Plates
true.
are for people who don't
Plates
get
are
cookies.
for people who don't get any cookies.
I got other cookies.
He
I
did
just
get everything
didn't
but
get
the strawberry
that one.
shortcake one. The strawberry shortcake one, to be honest, when I got there were only like 2 or 3 left.
Yeah, there were 3. I unfortunately am aware of exactly how many there were, and how many there were when I got back. Single tier.
I think that
Hello,
means
everyone.
somebody had
Ghost
multiples.
Hunter,
There were 2 people that
Iterator,
grabbed
hello.
one, and then you
Who
grabbed
else?
one.
Paint Liquor first.
I think one of those other 2 people had multiples.
Did they?
T. Schmidt, Source,
You should be angry.
Rattle Can, hello.
I refuse, Jason. I refuse to be angry.
You refuse to be
Liquor.
angry?
Paint Liquor said, I go into the office for 4 days and there's a painted mech now.
That's true.
Look at Jason.
Hmm?
Panic Bomb, happy Friday.
Yeah,
Lost
Jason's
Tomato.
like done with this thing. Then you guys
Hello,
make fun of him for never
hello.
finishing models.
I don't ever finish mine.
T-Fresh.
It's fair.
Poor Big Bacon, sorry you're late. Your wife knocked out the
Knocked out the
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
That's the only thing you've missed is us talking about cookies.
It's true.
That's it. For 7 minutes, we've been talking about cookies.
Was there any reprisal?
Huh?
Was there any reprisal
Any what?
for her knocking out the Wi-Fi? I want to know where this story goes. Does she have to, like, bake cookies now?
Yes, bake cookies.
I feel like if you knock out Wi-Fi, there's got to be some
She
reprisal.
should bake you some cookies.
Cookies are
Make
owed.
you some cookies.
Ask for the strawberry cheesecake.
Ask for the strawberry shortcake one.
Strawberry short cheesecake crumbled.
Whatever they are, they're
Crumble
delicious
dupe.
or something.
Oh my god, it's so good. It's too good.
There we go. That's what I was looking for. So how's everybody's Friday going?
Friday?
I know it's Friday, isn't it?
Can't already be Friday.
Turns out, as we get towards the end of the year, the days start going faster and faster and faster. I've noticed this. Yesterday, it was Halloween.
Yesterday was Halloween?
Feels like.
Is tomorrow Thanksgiving?
Feels like. I mean, we're like a week and change out from Thanksgiving,
Oh my god.
right? Technically, it's 2 weeks.
How's that even possible?
Four Peak Bacon, you're a baker. You love talking about cookies.
Mmm.
So we had today
Shall inform her she owes me cookies.
the strawberry shortcake cheesecakey thing, which was delicious. The s'mores, which looks like a chocolate chip cookie with marshmallow in the middle of it.
That was actually really good.
Yeah. Snickerdoodles, delish. And then these blue, she called them Cookie Monster cookies. They were blue, and they did have white chocolate chips in them. But yeah, there it is, right there. Little mini Oreos and mini Chips Ahoy cookies.
Yo, dog. We heard you like cookies.
It's a cookie full of cookies.
So we put some cookies in your cookies.
Yeah.
It's great.
Flapjack Nickelsack, hello. What's going on is we had cookies.
We did have cookies.
Big Bobzilla. Oh, thanks, Bob. Big Bobzilla's just rubbing it in. We're sitting here eating cookies. He's about to go to the gym.
I mean,
We have it better than he does.
Then Tyson better whoop on Paul.
what?
I'm excited for Jake Paul to accidentally bonk Tyson wrong, and then Tyson forgets where he is and clobbers Jake. I mean, he already forgot where he was. Jake Paul stepped on his toe.
I am
Smacked
so
him.
sick of all the media nonsense regarding this. Like, the fact that they're letting this douche get away with this as a media stunt is just appalling. No pun intended.
So
Was it Jake Paul that called out Tyson?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I didn't even know this was a thing until yesterday.
What?
Had no idea.
I heard
Did
about
not
it a
know.
while ago, but yeah,
It's sad. It's like I felt like we needed to. Somebody mentioned it too. I said early on, it's like we just need to get a GoFundMe for Tyson so he doesn't have to do this to himself. You know? I'm sure the world would pull together and get a GoFundMe that would be very close to the purse he's going to take home for letting this idiot knock him out and end his legacy.
I mean, he had a fight, what, 4 years ago or something, I was reading, that didn't go well?
Who? Jake Paul?
Tyson.
Oh, Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Guy, but
It was
He's Mike Tyson,
wasn't a
so-
professional one, I don't think, but I don't know, he fought somebody like 4 years ago or something, and he didn't win.
Deep Fresh, that was not the next texture trainer, but maybe send that over for some inspiration.
What?
The cookie.
Cool. Ooh, cookie
Since you are
texture.
eating cookies, does that mean we can eat paint? No.
Nope.
One is food, the other is not.
One of these things does not have anything to do with the other.
Eat all the cookies you want. Don't eat the paint.
I mean, I would recommend some moderation when talking about cookies.
Well, I mean, you should probably eat some vegetables too.
Yeah.
Vegetable
Alternate.
cookies?
I mean, a carrot cake type cookie would be fine. I would do that.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at the
Recently
idea of
saw a
carrot cake cookie.
Cookies and cream flavored Oreos, which seems redundant. It sure does. Saint Liquor was going to eat a cookie, but has upgraded to fresh Krispy Kremes instead. I mean, that's a worthy replacement, I would say.
Am I crazy for not being a huge fan of
Fresh is the key word.
even fresh?
Then you're crazy.
Yeah, they just don't appeal to me for some reason. Maybe it's because I didn't grow up with them.
I didn't either.
Oh well,
Delicious.
I don't know then.
What
I am
about
just
a paint
weird.
bottle cookie. Oh, like is it cake? We could make a paint bottle cake. Is it cake or is it paint?
Oh my gosh, that would be so cool.
Yeah.
Just
Which
like a
paints do I mix to get
huge-
strawberry shortcake cookie? I don't have it in front of me. Probably an ivory because it's a like a sugar cookie base kind of. A little ivory.
I think Jason also probably already ate his.
Yeah, I think so.
Nope.
Oh,
I'm saving it.
you're saving
I
it.
can't go through the pain of knowing that it's gone. It's too good.
But you have the ability to make more.
I do not have the ability to make more. I can't bake.
So I have a question, Jason.
Wow.
Can you measure things?
No.
I'm worried. I'm worried.
Chronic Toasty didn't grow up with them. No, Krispy Kremes. I mean, they were not a West Coast thing. I don't think.
No.
The first time I ever had one was in Las Vegas in like the early 2000s, like 2001 or 2 maybe. It was the first time I'd ever had one.
There are very, very few on the West Coast.
Yeah.
At least up in Seattle.
Even now, there really aren't that many of them.
Yeah.
Here, anyway.
Also lived across from like a legit donut shop at my old house in Tacoma. And they made
Oreos
some of the best I've ever had.
Are Oreos equal cookie-shaped sugar? I mean,
Huh? T. Schmidt says, "How do you make paint without measuring, Jason?
Huh?
How does that work?"
Hey, don't ask me hard questions.
Don't ask me hard questions.
I'm painting right now.
Can we ask you easy questions?
Yes.
Jason is not, nor has ever been, an engineer.
Do you like
With an
Mexican
eye.
food?
It was Dunkin' and Blockbuster in every town growing up. We had Dunkin's, and then they went away for a long time. And then they came back. And now they're probably my last choice for donuts.
I've never had them.
Dunkin' Donuts?
Yeah,
You've never had Dunkin' Donuts?
I've never had Dunkin' Donuts.
We're hiring, chat.
I'm so confused.
Chat, we're hiring.
People would drive hours from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan to get them. People would carpool for the Krispy Kremes.
It is kind of nice that Arizona just has everything, though. Like, we just have all of these things.
Flapjack, the fact that he hasn't had Dunkin' is crazier than the Krispy Kreme thing. Is that what you're saying? I agree.
Because
Dunkin'
Dunkin's
isn't even that good, but good grief.
Dunkin's the place that has like the coffee too, right?
Dunkin' has good coffee. Their donuts are.
Isn't that more of like an East Coast thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that would explain why.
Remember Ben Affleck in the Dunkin' Super Bowl commercial?
Nope.
It's like one of the only good commercials that year.
Well, I mean, what, last year?
It was last year. I
Not
think.
this one. Year before, I think.
No.
Maybe it was this one. I don't know.
Actually,
I can't keep track of time anymore.
isn't the Super Bowl in like February? No, I
Maybe
wasn't here.
February.
Wait, I was here. I'm crazy. Wow. Having a hard Friday.
Kingtone said, every day there is something that makes me gasp that comes from Jordan.
I aim to please. Or at least entertain with my lack of things.
If Duncan sold tartar sauce, he'd have been there.
This is also true.
Can we just talk for a minute though about the revelation of tartar sauce yesterday? Was that on stream or was that before stream, Jordan?
That was on stream.
It was on stream.
Yeah, I admitted that, maybe tartar sauce probably not the best option. I bet I enjoyed it because I think Jason even said this, that because I only ever have done it at Ivar's.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I was younger I didn't like fish. I still don't like fish as much when it's cooked like that, but I can eat it now. So I had chicken whenever we went to Ivar's. And I always dunked it in the tartar sauce. Maybe it was good because they very likely used the same fryers that they used for the fish. I would think that they wouldn't do that. But you never know. I missed that tartar sauce reveal. Because, I think about Cane's and I'm like, would I put tartar sauce on this? And I go, no. And the more I have it, the more I just want it with ketchup instead of the cane sauce. It's okay. It's just too much. Their fries are also not very good.
If you want to die happy, get a Krispy Kreme burger at the North Carolina State Fair. I would try that.
Funnel cake. That's where
I
I'm
had in Chicago. I had a donut chicken sandwich.
A donut chicken sandwich.
No, it was a chicken sandwich made with donuts instead of bread. It's really good.
Okay, all right then.
Papa Chicken said, I have a joke about the shirt Jason is wearing today.
What?
Probably went over his head.
Oh.
It did not. It's a collared shirt that buttons.
But you got another shirt on underneath it.
Shush, don't give him ammo.
Oh.
Jordan, whose side are you on?
I'm on the side. I'm on Jason's side. What are you guys talking about? Of course it didn't go over his head. Jason's only wearing that button-up shirt. Silly gooses. How'd that work, Jason?
We're hiring, chat.
Oh, man. There are some people who would be really concerned to hear how many times that comes up.
I need to go for a few minutes and call the city about the water at the new place.
Okay.
So many issues.
Okay. Yeah.
It's still not on?
I'm going to call this city. Yeesh.
So they can't turn it on? They have to take. Somebody didn't pay their bill. That's like a boot on your car.
Don't forget to grab another snickerdoodle on your way out. You been doing any gaming lately, Jason?
What, you mean like video games or something?
Yeah.
Not really. I re-downloaded the Division 2 and I was playing that, but it's always been a game that goes in spurts for me, so
yeah.
I have not been deeply into it. I started another character and running through all the stuff, and it's been fun, but I haven't been giving it a ton of time.
It all ebbs and flows. Sometimes games are really prevalent, sometimes it's like, eh. I'm kind of in a meh mode right now for games. Or at least video games. Not a whole lot of exciting stuff going on.
It's kind of that time where I'll go back and take a look at what I have that I've never opened from my Steam library.
Oh, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And give it a shot. Unfortunately, I'm not finding anything I really care about, but, you know.
Smoothing out some of these rougher blends on the inside of the chest here. Using the good old bright pale yellow and dark gray blue. All mech warrior down. Well, so that's not really a game that I play like on the super regular. That's just like somebody's in the mood to play a little bit of mech warrior and we just like play a little bit of mech warrior for an hour or two. It's not like I'm playing this game daily sort of thing.
Jade, what's going on? When are you restocking the button-up shirts? You needs a huge Fatimus size. What size are you looking for? I thought we had them all in stock except for 4X. You need 4X?
Oh, hello, Jade. How do you do? Happy day off. Hope you're enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm just in that mode with video games that I'm like, meh.
Yep.
Four Pig says 4X lol. What do you, that? Why is that lol? Is that what you need? Or are you laughing because that's like kid stuff? You say you need bigger than that? I don't think we carry anything bigger than a 4X.
Mm-mm.
Doesn't mean we couldn't. I just don't think we've ever brought in anything bigger than 4X.
Says because it's the one you're out of.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's the one you need. Yeah. They were just asking me this week about restocking shirts, so it shouldn't be too long. This 4-pig bacon is indeed a sentient pile of bacon. In total from 4 pigs. Wait a minute. Is this like Chet from Weird Science?
Yeah.
Believe it or not, the 4Xs are the ones the distributor never has in stock.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
3 and 4Xs are really hard to get in the button downs. And t-shirts, fine. In button downs, they seem to be out. And I think it's because like shopware, that's a more prominent size. Like they probably don't manufacture as much, and they sell them all instantaneously.
I was going to say, generally, a lot of heavier folk like myself tend to not prefer the button-ups, but that's not necessarily always true. But they are pretty common for work shirts, I suppose. My big issue is finding a shirt that's tall enough. I have a really long torso. Hello, Rand. How you doing? Clarkatron, my problem with button downs is that the difference between how they fit based on standing versus sitting is too different. Yeah. Yeah.
Really? Guess I don't notice that.
Might just be if you have one that doesn't fit great. If you have one that fits fine, then shouldn't be a problem.
I like the work shirts because they're roomy enough. Of course, I'm wearing mine like unbuttoned today, but
No. I do like our 4X work shirts. I mean, I wear mine whenever we do video stuff,
Vidges.
and it's nice. So does your friendly neighborhood Starbucks recognize Cora yet?
They know me,
Uh-huh.
and they know I bring the dog by on the weekends, but they don't really pay attention to the dog. I don't know why. Every now and then, one of them will be like, "Oh, look, blah, 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 blah," but no, they don't. They know me for my order.
Because
So
you
they-
always order this.
Yeah, they constantly are like finishing my order for me.
Can I get a cold hot chocolate?
If the camera's working and they see me when I drive up, and if it's not a new person, then they're like, "You want the usual?" I'm like, yeah. Although today, I threw him for a loop because I was like, I don't want hot chocolate. I just want an iced decaf mocha.
Oh, whoa! You don't normally get caffeine.
Well, I get a single shot of decaf. Has been my thing for a while now. I do a single shot of decaf in my chocolate milk.
Interesting.
And also in my mocha, it depends. That's what threw them for a loop today. They're like, wait a minute, what? Are you feeling okay?
It's like, Jason, are you okay? You're ordering weird stuff. Like just sometimes you gotta have something a little different.
Kruger, what do you got going on with the online store you need help with?
Jen will be back here in just a minute, Slovic, making a quick call.
He's dealing with water issues at the other warehouse.
Ugh. Props to her for dealing with all that nonsense.
What she lives for.
That sounds like a fun time. Got to keep that water out of the warehouses. No, we got to get
We
it
need
in.
water in the warehouse, actually. We need the water actually turned on, so like the toilets work. Stuff like that. That's what we're talking about on this one. But yes, we definitely don't want like water flowing into the warehouse. Unless it's on purpose. We're planning to move some of production over to this warehouse.
They gotta be
So
able.
they got to be able to clean stuff. Turns out you use a lot of water in what we do.
I'm using our transparent white here to help smooth out some of these blends and to brighten up these sections that are getting hit with the reflective light. Just kind of doing a thin glaze over the top of them. Should help smooth everything out just a little bit.
This is a bug, or I can't order paints from this store. Where do you live? Kruger, you in Germany?
Romania.
Is it telling you it won't ship to you? You're best served ordering from PK Pro in Germany.
Yep.
pk-pro.de is our distributor over in Germany. They carry the full range of paints except for the spray paints. We do not yet have a secure plan for paint, for the spray paints over in Europe and the UK, even though they're made in the UK.
Which is funny. It's saying that the price for shipping is $75. That's why we recommend that you order from PK Pro.
Yeah, because we're in Arizona, right, in the United States. So anything going to Europe is going to cost an arm and a leg.
And you're going to pay on the back end for
VAT.
the VAT.
We don't charge VAT.
Yeah.
So you're way better suited to order from one of our European dealers and distributors,
Yep.
of which if you go on the site, you look in the top, or if somebody could type in !FLGS.
That's not going to work for them. I'll go type it in.
Oh, well then I can do it right here. Never mind. I can do it right here. I thought the Twitch people could type it in.
Used to be able to. With the current situation, it's not able to work.
I gotcha. There you go.
Yeah. Just
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah, Law Dog. It's. I think that since we went to the streaming on both platforms,
Yeah, it's
that
the
you guys
restream.
can't enter commands anymore.
Yeah. Restream makes it hard.
But check that out, Kruger. Solitaire, this is the, whatever they called it, 100 millimeter scale Timberwolf that they did in the latest Kickstarter. So yeah, more like a 3-up or a 4-up over what the normal ones are. The normal ones are tiny.
Can you imagine using that in traditional BattleTech scale? Just having a mech that's
It's a super
big.
ultra mega heavy.
Yeah. That'd be kind of cool for doing a custom scenario, kind of like the one that you usually do with us.
Destroy the Nightmare mech.
Yeah. And then you just have as many people bring, whatever mechs that they want. There you go. Stop me from getting to the other side of the table.
That's not going to happen.
Not with that one.
Oh, sorry. I also jump 15 hexes.
I mean, I imagine it would probably be fairly slow. Just because moving that kind of mass is difficult.
Maybe for you.
Yes, most certainly for me. It would be very hard. Using a little bit of that bright shadow, or I'm sorry, bright pale yellow to add these little super bright reflective spots.
Yeah, Kruger. And with the stores over there, if you ever have something you want that they don't carry, you can always contact them. Especially PK Pro, and they'll order it for you. They get it direct from us. Go see what's going on.
Hey, go see what's going on.
You just gotta hit it in the knees. It's skinny bird legs. If you know a store over there, Kruger, tell them to start ordering. They can get it from PK as a dealer too. So, Zethlin says, "Do you guys have digital sculptors in house or remote? Remote. We use third-party sculptors."
Alright, sticky stuff. Get off the robot. You gotta put the model on here and see what this is looking like. Alright, let's take a look. Got Robit. And so far, oh yeah, perfect. That little bit of glow on the inside is just enough. Just enough. Means I want to bring it out on the inside of that knee over there that's in shadow, and then we got to brighten this leg up and this foot.
Robo poop.
Robo poop? Ew, robo poop.
Kruger says, "Can I apply to work in your studio? I will mop the floor, clean everything, and watch all those wonderful miniatures." I mean, how much does this cost us?
Fringe with marshmallow Jordan.
Are you going to sleep on the couch so you get free room and board? Is that how this plays out?
Zethlin's asking where they can apply to work for us as a digital sculptor.
Oh, contact support@monumenthobbies.com with all of your info. They will move that over to me. I handle all of the outsourcing and dealing with creatives on the sculpting side. And I'll get back to you. Take a look at your portfolio and such. See if it fits with the style of a project we're working on. We do have quite a few projects underway right now that we can use you. William Tsang does all of the sculpting for our texture trainers. And so we're pretty good there, but it doesn't mean that we wouldn't bring on a secondary sculptor or something to work on those as well from time to time. Just depends on what the schedule is like and what we're trying to put out. But yeah, shoot all your info. If you have a link to a portfolio, previous works you've done, examples for sculpting. I'm interested in mainly in whether or not you have done anything for physical print before, so that I can get a feel for your knowledge of how the mechanics of actual physical models go. That's the single biggest thing.
Zethlin says, "Cool, we'll do it now. I'm new to printing, but I worked for the game industry."
Cool. Would love to see your stuff.
What else you got planned for the rest of that mech there, Jason?
I don't know.
Always the answer I
Supposed to have a
get.
plan? Wait a minute.
Yes, Jason.
Nobody told me this.
Plans are required.
Nobody told me there was supposed to be a plan involved.
Yep.
I don't know if I'm buying into that.
No, totally. You should buy all of it.
I feel like this is the lies they tell you.
What do you mean? Jason, I would never, ever, ever, ever.
Here we go, chat. I would never, ever, ever do that thing that I do every day.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Lies. Lying liar who lies right here, chat.
I don't even have the thingamabob.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't even have the tag.
Why paint the robot blue now over the green?
So this is just a base color for the robot. So what I'm doing right now is I'm painting the initial color on the robot, right? So I'm getting all the reflections in the right place. I'm kind of establishing a nice base of color for the robot. And then from there, I have the ability to glaze in color that will pull the model into the environment. So a lot of the time when I do models like this is kind of how it starts. And you can see some of this that I've already done here in the inside of the shoulder, where there's some of that green color. But I want to just get the reflections to feel like they belong first, and then go from there. Also, I need to repaint his eyes. Can't forget to do that.
Bud's waiting for chipping and weathering.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited to see the chipping and weathering too. I think it's gonna be great. Is that more cookie I hear?
What are you talking about? Cookie's gone.
Time to be sad, Jason. No more cookie.
In the last 45 minutes, I built my
Your
psyche
tolerance
up so I can handle the
losing
no
it.
more cookie part of my day. That was a damn good cookie. Holy cow. Kruger says, are you excited for the boxing match today? So I'm not going to watch it. Number one, it's pay-per-view, and I don't do that. Even if I cared enough, I wouldn't pay for it because it's only going to go one of two ways. If it goes the way it's supposed to, it'll last about a minute to 2 minutes, and I'll be able to watch the highlight reel for free tomorrow.
Yep.
Or immediately after it's over.
Yep.
If it goes the way I think it's going to go, which is that it's all staged way to just sap people of millions of dollars so that stupid Paul brothers can have more money, then it's not worth watching anyway. And I'm pretty sure that that's the way it'll go, because I think Tyson's at the point where he doesn't care anymore. He just needs the money, and this is free money. But there's a sliver of hope that he remains Mike Tyson and that when Jake Paul feels him hit him in the jaw the first time,
He goes, "Oh crap."
he will never box again. Right?
So this is actually a legitimate boxing match, right?
No. That's the whole thing, is that they don't think they've come up with their own rules. The weights of the gloves are down. It's kind of crazy. It's all staged.
Yes, that's what
This is what makes boxing such a horrible sport right now, and why everybody tunes into like UFC instead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very WWE. Yeah, exactly. It's all so acted out. And I hate the Paul brothers. They are some of the worst that humanity has to offer. They're just not worth paying any attention to. I wish that all the people in the world would stop allowing mediocre entertainers to get to such prominence.
I'm glad that I know basically nothing about these guys.
Awesome, Zethlin. We'll check it out. Kruger says, how much glaze you added to your light blue?
So there's no glaze and wash medium added to the light blue right now. This is just thinned down with a little bit of water to get a little bit thinner applications I'm doing here. But what I have been doing is I have been adding transparent white with a little bit of it's like 50-50 transparent white and bright pale yellow. And that's what I've been doing to smooth out all the highlights on the robot. Uh-oh. It's time! You need to... Oh, yes, sponge. Sponge!
Actually, before I do this, I meant to do a little bit of yellow transparent over my greenish yellow. See how that looks. Some transparent yellow.
Oh, that'll look good. It'll definitely get you into that yellow range.
Yeah, it just gives me a hint more yellow.
There we go. Like, it's starting to look like it belongs like to part of the robot now. We're just slowly bringing it up.
Even that transparent yellow is a bright color, but it's not bright enough, so I'm going to go back and hit the bright pale yellow again.
$100 in. Come on. Get back in there. All right. Slovak is asking, how did you tip every rocket so well there, Jason?
Time. Actually, it wasn't even bad. Didn't take very long.
Crew's asking, what will happen if I blackwash the Android? It would probably do a lot more staining than I would like. There's not a ton of like recessed details on this model. So there's not a whole lot for the wash to really catch into. So there's just a lot of like open surfaces. It's a lot of high chances to be able to have it run into a situation where it's causing a stain or a coffee stain of some sort, which I would really rather avoid, which is why I wouldn't do a wash at this stage. Gosu, I'm breaking out the red gray and dark magenta to mess around with it. Well, that sounds like a cool mix. I actually really like our red gray. Welcome back, Jen.
I don't know if I'm the procurer of water access. We'll see.
Oh no.
They were very confused.
They were very confused.
Yeah.
Were they like, why is there a thing on there?
They didn't even know.
Oh, of course not.
They're like,
And it's theirs.
no, we were out there turning it on Tuesday. I'm like, I mean, that's what your email said, but there's no water. There's a lock on the main water valve.
So
We
you
were out there Tuesday. I'm like,
that means
I
lazy
understand.
lazy water guy saw the lock
Yeah.
and didn't even report it to anybody.
yeah, maybe.
Like, I appreciate that you guys came out. The problem is
You didn't do
guys
anything.
Didn't do anything.
They did say that they're gonna have a guy out right now.
Oh,
He's sending
well.
someone out right away. So
Great. Look at that. Hopefully it's not the same guy who looked at the lock and went,
and Grant is going over there too.
oh, okay.
Done.
It's gonna be the big boss and go,
Mhm.
hey, Mr. Guy, take off that lock and turn our water on, please.
You think about that before you said it?
No,
Okay,
why?
just
Did,
checking.
did I say something silly?
Well, I didn't hear what happened.
Oh, apparently I said something silly.
Oh,
I think it went over my head. Jason's just getting a laugh out of it.
the robot is all put together with the legs done. I like it.
Yeah, I just put some highlights on the leg. It's not glued in yet, but it feels more like it belongs there.
Getting there.
Oh, so much robot.
Mr. Water Guy, tear down that lock.
Yeah, I definitely channeled a little bit of that on accident.
All right. Alligator clips. Locking forceps. Piece of sponge.
Mm-hmm. Sponge gonna sponge.
Pick random little bits off of the sponge so that it's crazy shape. Then we get some black brown. I can find it. You take mine?
No, but
He says no.
if you need black brown, yeah, here's some black brown.
Oh, man.
Saves you having to dig it out.
What are you doing with the sponge? Don't do anything crazy.
Well, I only do crazy things, so
Yeah.
you're
It's in
You're
his
in for a
name.
treat.
you're doomed.
It's in his name.
All right, bud, you paying attention?
Oh,
He's doing this for you.
For Bud.
This is my paintbrush. What we want to do is take the take my napkin. I want to kind of season the sponge first, so I'll get a lot of paint on the sponge, and then I'll wipe it off. You do not want your sponge to have a ton of paint on it. You don't want to press super hard as I'm going through and doing this, because obviously you can imagine getting big, huge blotches, which I generally do, and I have to paint them as like big, huge, freaking damaged spots, right? You want to kind of stick towards edges because that's where they'll pop the most. But the flat spots are great for just having a little bit of scritchy scratch.
Kruger, which effect? This that Jason is doing right now?
No, you can't do this with airbrush. Nope.
It's all about the sponge.
All about that sponge.
The airbrush will do like little spatters and stuff for blood. You like that one? I got a big chunk. Hit it with my finger real quick to make sure it. So, you know, the answer is yes. You can do like blood spatter and stuff, but it is intense and does not look to scale for what I'm doing here because it has motion to each of the spatters. So it looks like blood spray and stuff. Works great for that. This is not what this is. This is paint chipping. This is wear and tear on edges, high spots. You want to think about like dudes walking across the surface of this for repairs and tech engineers and bullets pinging off the armor and things like that.
Rattlekin wants to know what color you're using. Jason.
Black brown. It's kind of my go-to. It is the perfect color for creating dirty chips. If you can use black, but I feel like black is too much most times. That's really up to you. Here, I'll kind of super zoom for this side so you can see more of this happening. You can see what's the kind of fine grain scratches I'm getting, because you want to keep them at what I use the term at scale, right? You want them to feel like they are the right size scratches for the model you're painting. If you do big, huge, humongous scratches on this guy, it makes the whole model feel smaller. Does that make sense? Big head size things. I mean, I know there's probably very large munitions being fired at this Timberwolf, but it doesn't mean that everything has to be huge, chunked out bits of damage. You could go that way and make it feel like it's really crazy beat up, but that's not what I'm going for. I just want well worn. I'm sticking most of the scratches being on the turquoise jade area, obviously, because the metal's already dark. It won't show it as well. This is why you do your edge detailing first, because this will cover up your edge highlights and give you that contrast. And then you'll go back and highlight your chips, depending on how detailed you want to get. I will.
King Tone said, I cannot stop staring at the right leg of Jordan's... of the man on the model or the robot? Man.
Which leg?
Or of... Can't stop staring at the right leg of Jordan's, man. Just beautiful work. I can't tell. King Tone likes one of the legs on your model.
He's a leg man.
Can't stop staring at the right leg of Jordan's man. So probably this guy. Thank you.
But his right leg is...
Yeah, I know.
Is it his right leg or the leg that
This
is
is
on our right?
This is stage right.
Yes. I don't... It's very confusing.
So maybe?
But either way, I know it's a compliment.
Use the sponge on
It's a
Prometheus.
compliment. I get that.
But with bloody red. What is it with chat and wanting all of these models that I paint to be horror shows? Did they tell you what they wanted Reach to be?
Yes, like handing him down into a blender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the heck? Y'all are so weird.
I mean, you got to give him credit. It is kind of a good idea.
That's very clearly water in there, Jason.
I don't know what the guy was going for.
I guess it could technically be blood.
Okay, King Tone has clarified. The man in the figure, the older dude, the model's right leg. Yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
Blenders are exciting. Water is boring.
Yes, also true. Seems good. I'm with you, chat. I was just as bummed as you were.
We're getting close to being able to just glue this thing down. And then I don't have to paint sub-assemblies anymore. Oh, so much nicer. I hate painting in sub-assemblies, Jason. It sucks. It's so lame. Maybe it's time to paint the Doom guy. Which Doom guy?
This one is called Teaching Robots to Kill. Law Tomato said, I found out yesterday my FLGS is stocking Louise's Goblins in store.
Oh, very cool.
That's cool. How many of those does she have?
Like 5 now, I think. 4 or 5.
That's pretty good. I love the test that she did when she first got her set. And she painted that pirate one.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. Very colorful, as
Yeah, they're very cute.
she would do.
Don't be jealous. Maybe they'll sell them online. Unless Wild Tomato is holding out and not going to tell you the name of the store.
Yeah, Wad, you gonna withhold the information from the public?
Yes.
Just
Kruger said that I want to share with you. I'm setting up a big board game tournament in my country for the game Dune Uprising.
Nice.
The winner will get a giant 3D printed sandworm painted by me.
nice.
Oh, it's Grognard Games.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. That's why the last stream I asked how you paint a sandworm. Nice.
Oh.
Flapjack might have to wander. Yeah, over to the store. Yeah, there you go.
I've got a Grognard punch card in my car right this very minute. Yes, we know Grognard Games.
Gotta rotate the brush around as much as possible, the sponge. You don't get too much of the same looking doots.
I can't see who that was.
If you click back on the.
I'm getting there.
Oh, okay.
Jason stole it from me.
Zethlin
Tech Elf.
and Tech Elf.
Tech Elf was the sub.
Yep.
Zethlin was the follow. Thank you for following.
P Jones 856. We also got a follow from you recently. Thank you so much and welcome. Anybody have anything super fun planned for the weekend? All you hobby nerds out there, gonna paint some models, do some gaming, cook some turkeys.
What?
Cooking turkeys.
I don't know. I just threw it out of the hat.
Definitely too early for cooking the turkey.
There's no cooking turkeys yet.
Cook it now, you will not be happy
I'm thinking about
the
cooking
day
a
after
turkey.
Thanksgiving.
You are not thinking about cooking a turkey
Why not?
because you're not. Stop lying.
Like for Thanksgiving or now?
No, not right now.
For
But just like for
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving time. Good leftovers. If you do it right. I don't know. I feel like I have to do something Thanksgiving-ish.
D-Fresh said, do you think mixing orange and a bit of dark bronze would get a burnt orange?
I mean, it would be metallic-y. It would definitely be in that burnt orangey sort of range.
Painting a batch of Underworld minis.
I mean, I can.
And
Just...
you don't have, you have orange but not burnt orange.
Do you want it to be metallic?
Orange and burnt red would do very well. A little bit of burnt red with the orange.
Kruger, our schedule is always Monday through Friday from 2 to 4 Arizona time, except Christmas Day and New Year's Day, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Because the crew is here, except those days, so
I won't be here for a little while.
Jordan
at
won't
the
be
end
here,
of the year.
but Jason and I will be.
You guys are losing me for 2 weeks at the end of the year. Sorry. Gotta
Booyah.
go. Gotta go.
Scratches.
Wow, that looks really
that
good.
was interesting timing. Oh, that looks great.
Looks really good.
Yeah, I really like how like you were talking about earlier, Jason, doing the like scratches and scuffs and things like that in a really small scale makes this model feel big.
Bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It also kind of like adds that nice like little fuzzy filter over the model that makes it feel like it's not super sharp and clean, which is great.
Yeah, without having to add a wash or anything.
Wad Tomato N. Will there be a crazy Black Friday stream, or will you guys be too insanely busy?
Well, so we're technically closed on Black Friday, so
So probably just.
would be up to Jason if there's going to be a stream if he feels like it.
Now we're taking turquoise and we're highlighting our scratches. What you're really doing is just kind of stippling around the areas where you have the dark scratches showing up.
Rattle Can, we don't do sales. Our paint is already the best price. There you go, bud. But so this gives me a reason to dig out my old roach clips. Perfect.
Hey, bud, guess what that is? That is my dad's old roach clip.
Was it? I thought that was like a grip plier-y thing.
Well, that's what he used as his roach clip.
Oh, how
he used locking forceps. I stole that out of my dad's stash box years and years and years ago when I needed something to hold sponges. And he got mad at me. He's like, "Where's my roach clip?" And I've never wanted to say that on stream until Bud just said that, right? Because I've never smoked, but my dad was a hippie, and my mom, and so they had paraphernalia. And when I was a young guy, I was like, I need something for this cool technique. I want to try painting. And so yeah, I zoinked my dad's roach clip.
Rattle Can, we did put the miniatures on sale. Those were not ours. We don't make those. Smelly fella said we'll be finishing up my 1/10 scale bust of Hans Joachim Marseille this week. Marseille.
The what?
I don't know who that is, but I think busts are cool.
That's pretty sweet.
Game Delay said, "Happy Friday! Glad to see that mech is getting older." Did everyone notice that Game Delay's kid was in Discord today, kind of trolling him a little bit?
What?
That was fantastic.
Game Delay needed a little bit of that
Game
in his
Delay's
life.
kid was in there saying, "You should send me a bottle of Wizard's Butt, and I'll just put it in a case, and he won't be able to touch it."
That's awesome.
Man. How did we know that it was Game Delay's?
Because Game Delay said.
Oh.
Said that's my kid, and this is both hilarious and infuriating, or something like that.
That's great.
Bulk discount is a great deal. It is. Our sets all are discounted as well. They have a built-in discount. So if you do the math on those, you add up the cost of $465 times however many bottles are in a particular set, you're going to notice that that number is bigger than the actual price of the set.
Usually about 10 to 12% off.
Yep. The mega set
Is
has
ridiculous.
a discount off of the discounted set prices. Like, there's lots of ways, you guys. Lots of ways to get a deal here at Monument. We don't need to put an extra sale on top of things.
Yeah, no.
And then, of course, the Monumentals have discount codes.
They
You can
do.
use those, help out the community,
Hmm.
save some cash.
Support your monumentals.
Yep.
Enjoy some sweet content. Send them your love.
All year long. You don't have to wait for one specific day to
Yeah.
do your shopping.
Also,
those
those
are deals
codes-
available all year long.
Yeah, those codes are also reusable.
Uh-huh.
They are no longer one-time use per person.
If your favorite creator, like you have your one favorite creator, you can use their code every single time you shop with us.
And it helps them.
It helps them.
Helps support them. This is making me want to paint a mech, Jason.
Started to look good, yeah?
Yeah.
Defresh, that's what I do when I paint metallics. Defresh said I have it, so it's not a dumb idea. Of following a non-metallic metal process, but introducing the proper metallic paints as I go. That's why I asked about orange and bronze metallic mixed for a burnt orange. So that's what
Sure.
I do. I set up all of the, highlights and stuff, and then I do metallic over the top of it. Whiskey, the paint sets usually have about a 10% discount built in already, and then the mega set I think is another 10% off that.
Yeah, the mega set's nearly 20% off.
Yeah,
It's the best deal
it
in the
is
house.
by far the best deal, and people are crazy if they don't get it. Kruger said, "Can I throw in an idea about the mech? Maybe a little bit of oil leak." Oil leak.
Yeah, I might do some of that. Hey, you do things in stages. If you get all excited about over weathering a thing, you got all these things you want to do. By the time you get done, you got a pile of poop. So weathering is something you got to do bit by bit, see how each bit looks, right? And then determine how much further you want to take it, right? It's up to you. You can do whatever you want. Add all sorts of stuff. Drill holes in it. Make it look like it's got big bullet chunks. But, I mean, this does a really good job of giving us depth, right? Each one of these cracks has got a
Crazy to me
depth
to
to
watch
it.
you do this.
Hmm?
It's so crazy when I see you do this. Like,
The chipping and weathering
yeah,
and stuff.
because
Yeah, 'cause it looks like it's part of the skull.
It looks like there's a chunk taken out of that.
Yeah, and this is super easy. It's time consuming, but it's simple. Because all you're really doing is taking the very tip of the brush and doing all these little doots, right? You're just kind of smacking it on there. You want to control how much paint there is so that you don't get big blobs of paint. So practice makes perfect with this. You see me, again, take most of the paint off on my finger and then just go in with the very tip of the brush and kind of work it around in little dots and join those dots to where they look like little lines in some areas like that. Right, I can make little spots that look like cracks coming off of that hole. Right? But they're all just tiny dots. You're not painting any lines. You want to try to avoid painting lines at this stage if you can.
Paint Looker said, "Fuse Nas on the mech off camera. Don't be fooled." We just hand it to Cora.
Oh gosh.
Choose it out a little bit.
No. No, Cora, no.
Jade, you're buried by cats, but so cold. You want a blanket, but don't want to disturb them. Not disrupt the balance.
Yeah, you must not disrupt the
I
balance.
posted to my personal Instagram story the other day a really fun meme that was so true. And Jade, I feel like you might be able to relate to this. It was, "I don't want to be warm.
I don't want to be warm.
I want to be cold and then made warm by a blanket." And that is life right there. Cold and then wrapped in a nice cozy blanket to make you warm. So much better than just being warm. Yep. Facts.
She's a crazy person.
Whiskey, yes, he used a sponge. And he held a tiny little piece of sponge in not a roach clip.
Not a roach clip. Roach clip.
Chuck just got home. They got excited and got up. Okay, now you can get your blanket.
Steal it back from the kitties.
Love blankets. Oh my gosh, the dog. Cora has been. I don't know how she did this. Cora, there are 2 blankets on our couch. One of them is a really nice, soft, newish blanket that is folded up and just like draped over the arm of the couch. And I use it sometimes, but it's so nice that I don't want to mess it up. And then the other blanket I've had probably for like 20 years. It's nice and cozy, and I'll like cover myself up with it on the couch, or like I just always have it. And Cora loves that blanket. So at the end of the day, when she's done bothering Jason, she comes over to me and she, scrunches up the blanket and curls up and goes to sleep on the couch.
She steals it from Mom.
She does steal the blanket from me. And then during the day, I'm pretty sure she just sleeps on the couch all day and, nestles herself in the blanket. She likes to be like nestled into things. So
Nests.
Wednesday, I got home and her blanket, the old one that I call it her blanket, even though I use it too, was on the floor. And the good blanket, which again, folded, draped over the edge of the couch, and it has 2 pillows in front of it, 2 like throw pillows in front of it. The pillows were gone. They were like all over the place. She had gotten the good soft blanket and used that as her nest. And I think it was because she knocked her blanket off and couldn't put it back on the couch, but she needed a blanket to be on the couch. So she used mine.
That's funny.
And so then yesterday when I left, I made sure that her blanket was fully on the couch so that she could have it, be ready to sleep. Same thing. Got home, her blanket on the floor, pillows pushed away, good blanket.
She just wants a good blanket.
I know. She's realized what she's been missing out on.
Like, what the heck? Why do I have the bad blanket? You guys are lame. I want the good blanket.
Yeah. So I can't wait to see what she's done today when I get home. Face Smash, you were painting a bunch of skin lately. You attempted an alabaster skin tone. Was it something I was doing wrong, or is alabaster skin harder to do than other skin tones?
It's definitely harder.
Yeah, it's light.
Any time where you have a skin tone like that, where it's got to be really, really bright, and there's not a whole lot of like color variance, and you have to live within a small band of value to make it appear correct, it's always more difficult. It's the same sort of thing a similar sort of issue when you're working in darker skin tones. That is also difficult because you have a more narrow band of value to use when you're brightening and shading the skin tones. So anytime you narrow that band into something that's restrictive, makes the painting experience more difficult.
Rocket Chicken, thank you for the sub. 94 months. That's another long one.
Smelly Fella. What a good name. That's hilarious.
We talked to Smelly Fella earlier. Smelly Fella was painting that bust and gave more information while we were talking about something else.
Oh, okay.
Hans Joachim Marseille was a World War II German fighter pilot. He was called the Star of Africa in the German press at the time. And so it's a 1/10 bust, I think. And Kruger said, I don't see Jason switching brushes a lot. Is he using one size brush for the entire model? Both Jason and Jordan typically just use one size. They don't switch brush sizes too often.
One size 3 sable.
Jason uses
I'm using a number 2 Pro Synthetic for most of this model, and I beat the crap out of it because I've spent lots more than just this model. So it's about time to change. This has probably been a 5 or 6 month long brush, maybe longer.
And Jordan uses a Sable 3 for just about everything.
Yep.
I have used a number 4 brush for a lot of things on this model, like some of the glazing that I did. I used the number 4. Or actually, I think it's a number 3. It's a test brush that we're looking at, but
Is it Jesusaurus or Jesusaurus?
I think it's Jesusaurus.
I want to be Jesusaurus. So.
I like Jesusaurus. Said that mech
I'm
is so
into it.
cool. And thank
Thank
you for
you.
the sub.
Yeah, I'm working on all the weathering
Cyborg
details
too,
now,
Awesome stuff.
which I have been anxiously waiting to do, and also like fearing doing it because it takes forever.
What part?
The stuff I'm doing now,
Oh, yeah.
you know, like I was bitching about having to do edge highlighting on this guy,
Yeah.
and now I got to do 5 million doots to get the weathering rate. But this is the part that really starts finalizing the model and turning it into something that is just above and beyond if you put the time in. So it's a lot of little bitty detail work, but it's nothing that's too crazy.
Raptor Jesus.
Velocipaster. Like that movie Velocipaster.
Lizardy kind of guy?
I mean, it's like
Oh, yeah.
a crocodile-y
Yeah.
thing. Raptor Jesus.
That's awesome.
It's a Jesusaurus. Oh, did you answer Smelly Fella about the military colors, Jordan?
Oh, sorry, I was about to. We do not make any colors that are coded specifically to be
Color match.
color matched for those colors, but we do have a wide range of colors in our line that work very, very well for all sorts of military garb and recipes and things like that. And even with a little bit of mixing, you'll have even a ton more, right? Our line is really, really great for painting military colors, even though we don't make any specifically designed replica level colors. But yeah, our paints will work amazing for it. We have tons of amazing browns and grays and neutral colors, blues. Yeah, you've got plenty of options in there to pick from.
Whiskey. My size 2 and small Monument Pro synthetic brush hook. My size 2 and small Monument Pro synthetic brush hooked the tip almost immediately. I felt like I was being careful with not dotting with the tips too. Is there a way to try to get that hook out of the tip of the hairs? Not really. The better thing is to try and prevent it by like rotating the brush as you paint so that it's not always going the same direction, and then cleaning it really, really well when you're done, like every time. Do you glaze the metallic over the NMM, or are you mixing on the palette? Might have to have you demo it sometime. I just like the non-metallic process, but wanted to use my metallics somehow. So yeah, I guess glaze probably would be where I thin them and just use it as a really light coat over the stuff that I've done underneath.
Back to the idea of your brush curling. You'll notice, like I said, I've been using this one, and this is nothing special. This is just a brush like the same one you would get. I just go pull them out of stock. And, you know, you can see kind of, well, let me get the bright paint out of the tip there. Right, you can see that it still holds a pretty good tip. It's starting to blunt out. It's starting to be harder to get a tip good all the way around. I can get a good knife's edge this way, but it starts to be a little blunter this way. But I have a video called Chasing the Tip that is the best way to paint three-dimensional objects, period. And it is that when you have a brush that is new and it has a point on it, you're going to be doing this brush stroke thing a lot. And what happens as you do a brush stroke is that it starts to flatten it out. See how that starts to round the tip off? Because you've started to spread all the hairs by applying pressure. Okay? But what you've also done is you've made the perfect point this way. So if you rotate 90 degrees, you have the perfect point. So now you go back and you paint that detail with that perfect point, and then the more you apply pressure on it, the broader the tip gets. Right? So you do like 10 or 11 brush strokes, and now it's started to round off again, and you rotate it 90 degrees, and you get a knife's edge again. Then you go back and you paint with that knife's edge, and you keep doing this, and as you rotate, you keep the brush from getting a memory, so it won't ever curl. See? That's how I have this brush that's been painting for months and months. Look at how much paint's built up in my ferrule. How dirty this damn brush is.
Yeah, he doesn't clean his.
How good of a point it still holds, right? Because of me chasing the tip all the time. Now, I love synthetic brushes. It's all I use. I use our Pro synthetic brushes to paint everything you watch me paint. And they will be the best brushes you've ever used if you teach yourself to chase the point, right? And that's true of sables, too. They'll do the same thing. The sable doesn't have the fear of bending the tip. What the sable will do is break the tip and blunt it off because it's natural hair. So if you continually run it in the same direction, eventually it will break the tip off and you'll start to get a less of a sharp point. So chasing the tip makes the pressure direction change all the way around for the whole bundle of bristles, and it'll keep your brush longer for tons of time.
Screen name is a relationship to your job. You haul municipal waste, i.e., garbage, to the landfill. So smelly fella.
Smelly fella.
Jesusaurus said, I don't think I'll ever play Battletech, but I really love some of the models.
This is one of the limited edition ones that they came out with on the last Kickstarter. It's way oversized, but yeah, it's super cool.
Oh, yeah. Jesusaurus said, I don't mind sometimes when a brush starts to curl just a bit because you can use it both ways depending on what you need. Yeah, we've talked about that too, that you can use that to like get around corners and get into tight spots. A little bit of a curl.
Yeah, I tend to use brushes way past their expiration date because I don't care about the curl on bristles or things like that. I can keep using it. You won't get to be able to do as fine a detail stuff as like what we're doing right now necessarily if you do that. But you can do base coating and all that kind of stuff with it no matter what.
Smelly fella.
What are you doing this weekend, George?
That's a great question. I don't really have anything planned.
No plans?
I am going out to the game store tonight to play a game with some friends, which will be fun. So I'll probably go out, grab bite to eat with those guys, and then hang out. We're going to Old World, I think.
Cool.
You'll
Yeah,
find out when
I
he
had
gets
to
there.
double check in my brain for a second.
You'll find out when he gets there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's supposed to be Gamers Guild. Dang it.
Because I definitely... Did I tell you about that? I don't
No.
know if you were here for that. So...
Did you go to the wrong store once?
But not one... No, well, yeah, once. But it wasn't like a while ago. I did it like 2 days ago.
Oh.
On Wednesday, I went out to meet up with... he was actually on stream yesterday. And he was going to teach me how to play Shatterpoint, because I've played a little bit before with Ruben here in the office, but I wanted to get a really good solid feel for the game from somebody who really understands it.
Yeah.
And so I had met this guy at Old World the first time I ever met him. And then I subsequently have seen him at like Gamers Guild a couple of times. And I didn't clock in my brain that when he was talking to me, that he was talking about the Gamers Guild night for Shatterpoint being that day. Because they never used the term Shatterpoint or Gamers Guild. We were just there. So he was just saying like, yeah, it's on Wednesday, come hang out. And then I drove to Old World because that's where I usually go. And then I was like,
He's not here. Feeling like you got stood up?
No. I was just like,
and then he's feeling like
I
he got
clocked
stood
it
up 'cause
immediately.
He's in the wrong place?
Well, no, because I walked in and I was like, where are all the people who are playing MCP and Shatterpoint?
Oh, yeah.
There was only one game. I was like, well, either a lot of people just didn't show and he's running late, or
Wrong spot.
I'm in the wrong spot.
So then did you end up going up to Gamers Guild?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was a long drive at that time of night, by the way.
Yeah.
Cannot recommend doing that drive.
From Old World.
Yeah, it was like half an hour.
Derp6 said, question, you have a synthetic size 00 but not a sable one. Why is that?
Sable, when it gets that small, is useless.
It's like 2 little hairs.
Useless, you'll kill it.
You'd be very sad.
Sable hairs don't stay together very well at that range. You can buy them, but anybody that sells you one is probably a blend. It's probably got a lot of synthetic in there too, just to keep the hair together. Or their sizing is different than ours. Our 2-aught is very small.
Well, Tomato, you have a friend that's doing a 24-hour stream for Extra Life starting tomorrow, so you're going to go hang out for part of that. That's awesome.
Very cool. Yeah, I don't really have anything else planned for the weekend.
Hans Joachim Marseille. Oh, thanks. I'll never remember that. Face Masher said, have you seen those arrow brushes that are intentionally asymmetrical? They seemed like an interesting idea, though I'm not sure what problem they aim to solve.
Is it like an arrow wedge or something?
It's not like an angled dry, like our angled dry brush, is it, that you're talking about? No.
Maybe angled into like a weird wedge. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's all just people taking artistic style brushes and trying to make it seem like they're worth doing.
Do you have an angled dry brush over there to put on the camera? Are you talking about this? You don't have one, Jordan?
I don't have one.
Oh.
It's probably more like a cat tongue.
So they're wider in one direction than another.
Wider in one direction than another? Well, it's probably like a cat tongue brush. It's probably one that's shaped like a triangle. You turn it sideways and it's narrow. You look on it flat because it's a flat style brush instead of a round.
Like you smashed.
And goes to a point. Yeah, if you smashed a round brush. Yeah, they're useless. Artists that paint canvas like them because it's a cat tongue style brush that is something that you would use for detailing on a canvas. So if you already use one, you'd like it. But yeah, they're useless for us. You want a round. Everything else is marketing lingo to try to get you to spend your money on something that somebody who isn't creative came up with.
Yeah, and if you don't see a problem that they would solve, probably not anything you need.
True. True.
Brutal Burrito said, any tips on getting better brush control, or is it just something that happens in time?
Oh, it is largely something that you just have to practice. I mean, obviously you can do specific things to like paint in certain ways that force you to really like have to have really strong control of your brush, and that will get you there a little faster just by having to do it a lot more. But there's no real shortcut other than learning. Like once you learn how to use the brush and how to generally control it, the fine motor skills of it is just the repetition of doing it over and over and over again.
Derp6 said, makes sense. Thanks for the answer. I've been thinking about getting the 00 and the size 6 synthetic. I've always heard to use the biggest synthetic brush for applying base coats.
Well, you got to have a comfort level with it.
Yeah.
You know, make sure that it's something that you enjoy doing. Brushes are highly subjective things. So for me to sit here and tell you which brush to buy is kind of, I can help you find a good brush. I'm never going to be able to tell you what brush is good for you, right? I can just give you some pointers. Some people love painting with tiny brushes. I'm a number 2, 4, 6 guy. I rarely use anything smaller than number 2, but then our brushes are a hair smaller than what an artist round would be labeled as. So R2 might be a 1 for Winsor Newton. It's kind of more like a 1.5. R3 is more like a bulky 2 from other brands. So we're already maybe a size down. The idea is just whatever you're comfortable with. You'll get a feel for it, right? What feels like it gives you the control, what feels like you can go in and do the techniques you're trying to do. Go for it. That's why we do our brushes in sets the way we do, so that you get a chance to try all of them. You also have the build your own bundle for, like you do for our paints, you have it with our brushes too, so that you can go through and create a brush set that has like all number 2s, all number 1s, whatever you want. You get a good deal on them.
We used to have a command. Let's see if it still works.
The BYOB?
Yeah.
Might work in Twitch, but I don't know.
Nope.
Look at that.
Yeah, it looks great. Scritchy, scratchy.
Winsor Newton 3 for anything? Yeah, that would be basically our 4. Between our 3 and our 4 in the sables and the synthetics. We don't have a 3 synthetic yet.
Nope. Smelly Fella, again, it's really just your preference. Smelly Fella said, so for base coat, synthetic is best, and for blending and glazing, sable is best?
No.
Not necessarily.
Some people like doing it that way.
Yeah.
Our Sam Lynn set is built around him loving to do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be what you find yourself really enjoying. There's nothing that says you can't. I mean, Jordan only paints with a sable.
Yep.
So he bases and does everything with a sable brush.
I'll use a size 6 if I need to put a lot of volume of paint on, but pretty much everything I do with a 3.
Yeah, the 6 in a sable would be unaffordable. They start being like $80 brushes.
Yeah.
Very, very fast. And everybody's like, well, a 3 was only $20, or a 4 was only $20. Why is a 6 $80? Well, because it's literally 4 times the amount of bristles to do that bundle.
Yeah.
So they go up exponentially past a point, which makes it really, really difficult for me as an individual to justify the cost when a synthetic would do better for what you're really trying to do.
Yep.
Only paint with your cat's tail.
Going blind. All these deets and This is something that I really enjoy doing, though. I know.
The Dutes.
Well, this type of weathering just has such a profound effect on the model at the end, right?
Oh, yeah, totally.
You know, this is the same technique, albeit that at scale, again, the Guardian has a lot larger chunks taken out because he's like maybe 8 feet tall as opposed to 50 feet tall, 30 feet tall, right? So I've got larger chunks out on him, but the detailing is the same, right? All of these chunks and stuff were done with a sponge and with a paintbrush. And so you can get really, really neat textures. I love the texture on top of this shoulder pad. Oh, I gotta zoom in here, huh?
She hisses, but art stops for no one. I don't care how many lives you have.
Right. So it gives a really good beat up texture all along the shoulder that's all created with paint. That's all smooth resin. We've just been able to make it look like it has a tremendous amount more depth by using the exact same technique that we're doing on this Timberwolf, right? Just the Timberwolf, we're doing it in a lot smaller, so there's a lot more dusty kind of speckles on here. Because this thing's 30 feet tall, you know, so one like this is caused by like a cannon shell, right?
Yeah, Anakin Skyhumper has it right. I know people who don't use airbrushes at all. Some people who only airbrush. Some who dry brush for most detail. It's all based on what feels best for you when you are painting.
Yeah.
It's all tools.
Guardian is not a monument model. Who makes that Guardian model? Do you remember?
Black Sun Miniatures.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's been out of print for years.
Paint Liquor, that's the first model you saw Jason paint? Awesome.
Paint Liquor, the Guardian?
Yeah.
That's years ago.
Paint Liquor's been around, you know.
Thank you, Whiskey. The Guardian dude is sick. That was a fun one, right? Thank you. Doing the little diorama was a lot of fun. We showed everybody how to paint, like, you know, basically like canvas, paint the clouds and all the birds and all the crazy stuff. It's fun to tell whole stories like that. Because that model actually, the joke with that model is that he has like a cape of flesh. The model is really called the Guardian because he's guarding a little child, like a little boy, and he's carrying the little boy in a like a what looks like an egg house kind of apartment on his back. And the little boy's standing in the egg, like pointing off into the distance, and the Guardian's like, you know, toting him around like Iron Giant style. And so instead, we ditched the kid and turned the kid into a flesh cloak. The Guardian.
Jason, there's some things you just shouldn't say on stream. Turning kids into flesh cloaks is one of them.
Hey, bring it on. Bring it on.
Yeah, you can see the original model. They still have it on there, but it is showing it's out of stock. I know this because somebody else asked not too long ago.
Googling Black Sun.
Yeah, Derp Stick. A number 6 puts a lot of paint out, so as long as you have good control and aren't just overloading the model with paint, you have to have a fine feel for the brush, because a number 6 will put a lot of paint in a very small area. So you have to be careful with how you thin, all that, because the bigger the brush, the more paint it will draw into it, the more moisture it will hold, and it will unload more moisture with every brush stroke, right? Which, yes, means more paint. It also means that it puts more moisture out and that you got to move all that paint around. It might go into details and cracks and things like that you don't want to. So. Yeah, if you have a good brush, like Anakin says, you can use a larger brush's nice point to do the same work that, you know, I mean, the number 2 that I'm using is not a tiny brush, but the point that it has on it is letting me do tiny brush work here. You know, people would look at this kind of detail that I'm doing, you know, given that that's my pinky finger.
Phone, I think.
Those little bitty doots that I have all over there. A lot of people would think you need like a 00 brush to do that, but a 00 brush won't hold enough paint to do that.
Yep.
You'll go bonkers.
That's the big thing about smaller brushes, right? Is they don't hold enough paint to do a lot of painting with.
Right.
So using a larger brush with a really nice sharp point gets you a lot more work out of that brush, as long as you have good control.
Right.
Over where you put the paint.
Chase the tip. Yep, exactly. Yep. Yeah, we've gotten a lot of feedback that people just are mind blown when they see what I do with the brush, and that's how I've painted forever, and that's how I paint with the same brush for literally ever. The handful of brushes I have on my desk right now are all like my number 2 here, this number 3, and this number 4 are sample brushes for, or those are both number 3s that we're testing for our number 3 synthetic. Right? And this number 2, and this number 2, and I have a new number 2 here as well. This number 6 that I use for heavy spots. This number 6 that I use for heavy spots, and a number 4. And that's it. I have a brand new number 2 as well. You know, and that's it. So 2s, 3s, and 4s, and a couple of 6s for everything that I do. And these brushes, these 7 brushes, I have used for the last year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Certainly, as long as I've been here.
I never change them. They sit right there.
I mean, you added in the white.
I added in some. I've added in some 2s along the way because some of them become to where they're really just good for base coating, and I have to get ones that'll hold a better point.
Jesusaurus said I try to airbrush as much as possible, use contrast paints and oils and any other tricks I can muster. Painting for effect here. I have no interest in spending a lot of time, but I do want nice results.
Yeah, I mean, all of the turquoise and stuff on this guy is all airbrushed, right? So all of the base coat was done with dark blue into dark jade, bright jade, and then turquoise edge highlights with a brush. And then all of my paintbrush stuff has been literally just the white stripe. It's been millions of edge highlights is what the paintbrush has been for on this guy. All the non-metallic metal joints and stuff I did with brush, but I do the same thing. I love using an airbrush for all of my basing and getting my initial blends built up, getting my highlights dialed in on the largest part, especially when doing something like a mech where most of it's one color. Space Marines fall into that realm where most of them are one color, with the armor being the principal color that you're going to see on them, and then the details go in afterwards with a brush, and that works great.
Bud said, thank you very much. This was very informative. Got that. How often were you refilling your brush? Seemed like you were never getting more paint.
When doing the Dutes, I mean, usually you can imagine like doing one panel with a brush load, sometimes more. But I mean, like I was doing this whole side, you know, with one brush load. The thing with this is that you're getting rid of most of the paint because you're only trying to put out really small fractions of paint as you do these little, you know, Dutes all over the place. So, you know, you can do one panel. I go in and assume sometimes you'll get more longevity out of it, but if you get too much paint on the brush at the beginning, then the first Dutes that you do are too big and the paint is too wet.
Now noosh it in hot pink,
Nope.
Jason.
No.
Oh,
You
gosh.
learned to do that as a kid because art supplies are expensive. Yep. I couldn't afford to buy new ones. 100%.
Whiskey, get some good brush cleaner. If you're buying your brushes from us, we recommend my Drunken Brush Goop, and really clean them, condition them, reshape them after every painting session, and they'll last longer.
That stuff is amazing.
And defresh the paint in the small brush dries is
Absolutely.
too fast. Yes, correct.
'Cause
Because there's not enough liquid in them
There were a couple people who said that.
to keep it wet.
Yeah.
With the size 2 synth or sable size 3, I always find myself painting almost in sections on one area because I'm trying to avoid the wet edges of the first stroke you did. Maybe it's just you, not the brush. With the size 2 or sable 3, I always find myself painting almost in sections on one area because I'm trying to avoid the wet edges of the first stroke you did. The wet edges of the first stroke you did are what you use to blend, though. I don't know how you're painting, so maybe that's giving you your style. But using the edge of the last stroke to blend into the next stroke is how you get smooth finish. In general. That's kind of a 50,000 foot statement. There's a lot of ways to paint, but...
Smelly Fella, we are here Monday through Friday from 2 to 4 Arizona time.
Yep.
And it's 3:55 Arizona time right now. So we're...
About to finish.
This is about the time we wrap up every day.
Down.
You clean them with the Tan Masters brush soap.
There's your problem.
I'm sorry.
There's your problem.
Don't worry, Anakin Skyhumper. We've got some noosh projects coming up
Some
here
noosh on
soon.
this mech, but maybe not hot pink.
I thought about doing noosh on him initially, but then when we got the jade in and I started doing the highlights on the jade, I was very happy with the way the panel lining looked with the dark jade in the panel lining and the dark blue. Because all of my panel lines are basically just dark blue and dark jade.
Mm-hmm.
Then with the airbrush wasn't forcing paint because I wasn't airbrushing in this direction. I was airbrushing downward. And so you can see where the dark blue and the dark jade take over my shadows. And so I was really happy with the way the panel lines work. So I didn't want to do another filter, knowing that when I come back and do the chips at the end of the model, this acts like a filter as well. This gives enough of that black-brown dirtiness to the outside of the mech from all the chips, because even the chips where they're very light still add a brown filter over the top. And so you have to think in terms of what all are you planning on doing on a model, and not just, you know, if you take all the tools in your toolbox and use them, sometimes it gets too jumbled. You got to pick and choose, right? Noosh is a great one to do that overall filter first, right? So we did it here. This is the model that I did on the video to teach, you know, how to use Noosh. I would not chip this model. I might do some if I wanted to do like big bolter rounds banging off of it, right? And maybe in a couple of small spots. I would not do the same chipping that I've done here because the model gets too busy. This one's got a lot of neat streaking and oil and rust and stuff like that that does the weathering and gives the concept of being beaten up, even though it doesn't have bullet holes in it. if I take this and do a bajillion bullet holes in it, it's too much at some point. It's visually too distracting from the overall composition of the model. So I try to avoid that kind of stuff.
This model turned out so freaking good, by the way.
For so fast.
Yeah.
I mean, that was literally, you could paint your whole army like that in a day.
Yeah.
It was so fast to do this. It wasn't even funny. I spent more time painting the eyes and the missile tips than the rest of the model, I think.
You prepped this on a stream.
Yeah, this is all airbrushed really quick.
In one stream.
I think I had to brush paint the green on the shoulders and the kneecaps.
Shoot.
And the stripe probably took longer than anything else, right? And then I nooshed it in the video, and it was like done.
Yep.
You don't have to do a whole lot. We did the eyes and the missile tips, like I said. It could stand to probably go through and do a little bit more edge highlighting and such if I really wanted to finish it out. But you could put this on the table and be happy about it. And that's just noosh.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just literally just noosh over the top of raw paint, without having to do a whole lot.
And there's a video on how to do it.
Yeah, noosh is a miracle worker if what you're trying to do is, like somebody had said just a minute ago, I think it was Jesusaurus said, you're not really trying, you're painting for effect. You're not really trying to spend a whole lot of time and effort to get better, but you want your models to look good. Noosh and our glaze wash medium, those kinds of products will accent, even if you're using speed paints and such, will just make life, like you can do some really, really cool things fast. Are there any other foundational videos you do on the Monument channel that you would suggest I check out in addition to the tip video? There's like the clean the brush video and things like that, and we're making a bunch more. I'm going to be doing some, and Jordan's going to be doing some that are going to help you out a lot in those regards. I'm going to do a blending video on just various tactics for blending. There's some videos that are up on there already that are older that are like how to wet blend. I show you how to wet blend very quickly. That helps a ton of people.
It's a good video on the transparency too.
The transparent video that's up there is very, very good. So yeah, there's all sorts of stuff out there that will give you good fundamentals. Coming on here and asking questions is really the best way because it'll get them to you, talk directly to you about your question, which I think helps a little bit more, but those videos are great. You go back and watch the news video when you're bored. Yeah, Jen's Drunken Brush Group is the best way to do your brush cleaning because none of the other ones are going to condition and reshape the way that hers does. Hers cleans, conditions, reshapes. It's everything in one. Cleans better. It's just tremendous. And she created it all on her own. It's crazy.
Isn't that insane?
You have one of those dreads in a very similar scheme cut in half on the base of your Wraith Lord. Oh no! Dead! No prob whiskey. Yeah, the transparent video kicks ass. Definitely does. All right, we're making progress. Slow but sure. 50 million dutes later.
50...
I have to go highlight the dutes that I just duded, too.
Oh, no.
Yeah, because, I'm crazy like that. So, it's the way the world works.
Just a little bit.
I'm going to put links in chat because Jen disappeared. Except that for some reason it takes forever to register the keystrokes.
Yeah, it's a little slow.
The store. Coming up, the FLGS link.
Here, if you want to type them, I'll talk about them. Guys, make sure you check out all these links. We got the store link up there right now, where you can find all of the paints and some of the models that we've been painting on stream today. This model right here, you can find on our website.
Yes.
Unfortunately, that one's from a Kickstarter. You can't. But you can also find your FLGS store. You can click the FLGS link to find other local game stores near you where you can pick up Monument Hobbies products. Make sure you guys join the Discord as well. We've got over 5,000 hobby nerds on there.
Crazy.
I know we've blown past 5,000. Tons of nerds out there hanging out with us, talking about paint stuff, getting questions out there, answering questions. It's a great place to hang out and just talk about nerd stuff.
I base them like this, just very simple. I'll probably do something more complicated with him because it's bigger.
And then also make sure you guys check out the YouTube link. We talked about a lot of the things you can watch on the YouTube link just a minute ago. You can also catch all of our past live streams. So if you wanted to see the beginning of either of these two models, you can go back and catch those live streams from, this last week or the week before, as well as any of our videos that we've been doing for a long time. So we don't even need to post them. They're just up there. Thank you guys for hanging out with us.
I'm going to answer the last questions real quick.
Yeah, hit it.
So it says, do you guys think a red ink or magenta paint added to Pyro Red might help tilt it towards the fire engine red color? So if you do to Pyro Red, the transparent red is your best bet. If you use our transparent red, you try red ink if you have a red ink to get it a little bit colder, for sure. Like I said yesterday, I think the better way to do it is to add burnt red, and that will make it cooler. It will also darken it a bit. So if you want it brighter, then the transparent or the red ink will be your best play. Smelly Fella says, Artist Opus recommends not to store brushes upright because regardless of how clean and dry you think it is, there's still a minute amount of cleaner and thinner in the bristles, and it seeps into the ferrule. So just the very nature of a brush means that it's going to seep into the ferrule no matter which way you hang it. So that's all bogus. Not bogus in a bad way, it's just people don't understand that the way that the capillary action of paint between those bristles works is that it defies gravity. You have to remember, when you dip your brush into paint, the paintbrush is technically upside down, and yet the paint defies gravity and goes up into the ferrule anyway. So when you've cleaned it, whether you hang it, lay it sideways, put it on its butt and stand it up straight, it doesn't matter. It's all going to go into the ferrule. So the idea is to just make it as clean as possible. So the only thing that's going into the ferrule is dampness. I leave all my brushes sideways on the desk. That's the way that I choose to do it, the best way. Your better bet, even than that, it's just that it always gets messed up, is to lay them onto sideways and on a napkin, so that the napkin will get any of the rest of the moisture out on top of it. Just make sure the bristles aren't bent over. This makes people scared a lot of times because you'll bang the bristles around and ruin your brush, so just be careful with it. I'm kind of a Neanderthal when it comes to brush care. So my brushes just hang out sideways on my desk. But it doesn't matter, because capillary action will pull the juice that's left in the bristles will go into the ferrule no matter what. The thinner it is, the quicker it gets to the ferrule. That's the only thing. DiCaprio cleaned all your brushes yesterday with a goop. Sweet zombie Jesus. The dropper you're using into black, but all your brushes. Yeah, exactly, right? It pulls stuff out that you can't even imagine. You think you're looking at a clean brush and you use Jen's brush goop and it pulls stuff out of the ferrule that is like from 80 years ago. All right, gang. That's it.
That's it.
We're out of here.
We're gonna find somebody to raid.
Yeah, we're going to go find somebody to raid, so show love in the channel we wind up in, and we will see you back here on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend. We're out.
Bye.